Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. I've been great. We can officially announce it now because already on the interwebs, your boy is having twins. So
Congrats.
thank you, sir. Very, very excited about that. If they ever see this, I thought one of you was going to be a boy, but I'm excited you're both going to be girls. So hopefully we have some pretty beautiful and pretty and tall females. So D1 soccer scholarships and all that fun stuff. She's the wife is 16 weeks. Obviously, we pray that she has a healthy, pregnancy and all that stuff. But we had our first check-in with like the doctor, and like everything is, thank knock on wood, exactly where it needs to be, bro. So pretty crazy stuff, man. But how you been?
Nice. But before I begin, I'm out of curiosity, how do those checkups work? Like, do you just literally go in and they're like, hey, like everything looks good, just keep doing what you're doing? Or
No, man. So immediately, just so you know, so if you're having twins, you're immediately a high risk pregnancy. Lucky for us, I mean, again, I don't know if doctors are allowed to say this to be nice. I don't think they're trying to be nice. I think they truly mean that. So we have the best case scenario twins where they have two different placentas, two different umbilical cords. So like,
nice.
Like they have their own room to like truly, get the nourishment they need and the space to grow, which is like the biggest thing. So no, dude, we're in the sonogram room for like an hour and a half, man. Like they're like measuring everything. Like for one baby, it's like 45 minutes, and they're measuring like the neck to brain gap is a big deal. Like this part here. So like they're really trying to make sure that everything is right. There's no liquids where there's not meant to be, the heartbeat, all that stuff. So yeah, no, it's a good, like every month we do that essentially every 2 weeks. We have that appointment.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so definitely a time commitment, which is why I'm glad I was able to finally tell my job, because I was like, oh yeah, like every time I'm like not coming to work for like an hour and a half, like that's why.
I mean, super valid excuse.
Yeah, but it's man, it's been a wild ride. Excited for the rest of it. So we just told family and friends a few weeks ago, made it Instagram official once we truly felt like comfortable, like once we got past that like scary stage of like, something could go wrong, God forbid. So, but yeah, I would say it's a wild thing, man. And I would say it was also hard for us to discuss it or think about talking about it with our friends immediately, because like, dude, so many people our age, and I have friends and family who like struggle to get pregnant. Mm-hmm. And like, lucky for us, like we literally tried multiple times, but in this one trip in Thailand, and like she came back pregnant. So we were even like, oh, bro, like how do we?
Like, too good to be true, or like
too good to be true? Like we almost don't. We also felt this thing of like, did we not want to be too eager or too happy? Because like we feel bad that like, do very close friends of ours were like, all right, so when you start, you got to make sure you stop doing this and that. And it was like, well, not really, so
like, don't drink, don't do this. You're like, that's all we did. And
that's all we did, bro. Like my boy was like, yeah, you got to take these pills and you got to stop smoking. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was high the night. Like, bro, like I'm not going to lie. So yeah, man, it's just like, again, I think it's like when you're compatible, my boss has twins, and he was telling me, he's like, bro, when you're just compatible with someone, like, in so many ways, I think your body like just knows it, kind of a thing. And it just like the best case scenario can happen, because yeah, bro, like, twins is wild, twins is a wild experience. So yeah, super excited. And yeah, 2 girls, man. So pray for me as well.
Nice. No, when I heard the news and just the scenario, I was super thankful, because like you said, I work with a lot of people who are taking doctor's appointments and spending all kinds of money just trying to have a kid, and they want like, oh, I need it to be a dragon baby, and it has to, be born on this day to align with my great grandmother's like, life-changing moment and all this other shit. And I'm like, that sounds very stressful. But
bro.
It seems like for you guys, it just kind of all happened.
Yeah, man, because we never got to the point, thank God, where it was like, because I also have those stories of where like, hey, we like the baby making becomes like a job. Hey, I'm ovulating. You got to be home by 4:45 or else. And it's like, bro, like that sounds awful, And again, I understand why people do it, because they say being a parent, is the most magical thing in the world, blah, blah, blah. But that I can see how that can also take like the fun out of the idea of wanting to have one, because it's like, bro, this is like another job. Right. I already have a job. And, so I'm just very grateful of how lucky we've been. thus far. So, kudos to the wife.
Cool.
But yeah, bro, how's been life in the Bay? What's the mood this spring over there? Because you still have a couple months until your trip, right? Until you dip.
Which trip?
Don't you have a trip for a wedding that you have coming up?
No. Well, it's kind of local, but it's in August. Okay. So we have time. We may travel before then, but since I have like remote weeks and I don't like to waste it just being at home, but since we have the honeymoon in Africa in the fall.
That's what I'm thinking. My bad, bro. The Africa trip. Okay, you still have time for that, correct?
Yeah. Which thankfully worked out. Thanks again for sharing your friend, but ended up finding several super affordable options.
Nice.
One that we went with is affordable and looks like luxurious. And for some reason, the concierge service at work was like, you can only we only found shit that's available for like 30 grand, and there's nothing else you can do about it. 5 minutes, I find like 10 options.
5 minutes. Chat GPT.
Yeah, exactly. So I basically told him to fuck off. But
nice. Did you end up booking everything already then, or is like just like the beginning stages?
The safari, all of that's booked, and that was the only stressful thing, because that people typically book like 6 months to 12 months in advance.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially if you want something that you want. Like, you could always find something, but we didn't want something kind of grimy.
Just anyone.
And cheap.
Yeah. So what are the countries you're hitting?
It'll be Kenya. So we're gonna be in Nairobi for like 4 or 5 days. Oh, we're stopping in Dubai first.
Nice.
To split it up, and then Kenya, and then Cape Town, and then finally a stopover in Singapore for a couple days, and then
dope, bro. That's awesome.
To SF, and it kind of worked out because my company coincidentally scheduled like our sales week conference that same week, which would have been in New York, which would have been dope because last time it was just in San Jose where I live. But now I get like 3 free vacation days because I'll just be back home and everyone's gonna be in New York. So
nice, dude. That's awesome. So I'm assuming you're gonna like fly Emirates.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're putting the credit card points to use, making sure we're not exhausted. But yeah, super looking forward to that trip, and especially because I don't know, the past few weeks, I don't know how you feel. I'm sure a lot of people feel it, but like this stock market up and down shit is driving me crazy. I'm like, if this fucks up retirement and we gotta work till we're like 85, I don't know if I could do it.
Dude, trust me, bro. That's why I've been very busy outside the pod for sure. So no, I get that, bro. It's terrifying. There's like a new logic on why these tariffs are like the best thing and worst thing that ever happened to America. And I'm just like, bro, can we just go through a stretch where it's not like the worst thing that ever happened to us? Right. Can we just have like I'm sure our parents had like a 5-year run where it was like, oh, we're just getting rich by just waking up every day,
Yeah.
And it's like some new fucking terrible things happening to us. But again, overall life is good. Again, you just booked a very expensive trip to Africa, so life could be worse. So, dude, but you know what's funny is like I mean, again, you're not gonna have time, but I would love to do some more research, bro, because everyone's saying, and maybe they've been saying it for a while, but like how Africa is like gonna be like the new like what's it in the Bay, that area, like
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, bro, like in a huge way, this kind of same way that India was like 20, 30 years ago during like outsourcing. So like it'd be cool like to figure out a way how to get in on that, like on the ground level before it blows up. And also just cool, to go to Africa and like, go there for business or something. So yeah, I was always I'm curious about that, but obviously that's not something you do like on a safari trip. But again, if you see anything that inspires you, you're like, bro, let's talk about this. I'm down
for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely consider it and make that part of it, because not only could we potentially write off some of it, but a couple of boys I went to school with, they actually went out there to work for startups and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I'm assuming that the timing works out, I might hit him up and pick his brain about like what's really like, what are the opportunities, because I don't know, we get so fixated on the US, we assume like all the opportunities here, but there's a whole world out there of opportunities. So especially with now with all this tariffs and going on and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I think I saw it firsthand though when I lived in India, when India was a up and coming nation. Like, I mean, it's still a third world country, but like up the way it jumped in the early 2000s to where it is now, like bro, like And it wasn't just one industry in India. It was like every industry, right? Because everything was brand new. So like I was there when like McDonald's and Domino's and all the different like car companies were coming in because previous to that, like they didn't allow any foreign investors, bro. So like, dude, that shit, people became millionaires like in my friend group's families, like not overnight, but like very quickly. You know, like you see, like I'm with you like 8th grade and like, all right, similar car. And then by you're a junior in high school, you're like, all right, bro, like you live in a very different house now. Like what happened?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think that's like, it seems like that's what's happening in Africa. So I could be excited to be a part of, you know, obviously assuming we have the means to take advantage of it. So
yeah, for sure.
But let's get to it. Episode 208 about to start. I mean, bro, there's a couple Drake things, Kendrick things. I feel we can talk about them every single week, which we will this week because I think it's been a bit of a slow week. But I feel like it's only right, especially as we started the pod when we were at Coachella 2019. I think
2019.
2019 that we kind of made this idea like, hey, let's kind of make this a serious thing about talking about music. So Coachella week 1 2025 just happened. I mean, again, I think YouTube, TikTok does a great job of making anything sound or look amazing. So like I did more research and looked at other videos. I did have a few close friends who actually were at Coachella. But when you were looking at some of the clips online or anything you read on Reddit, did you have a sense of FOMO?
I had a sense of FOMO in the sense of I just kept remembering our trip and like that festival energy sometimes is fun, but then my wife quickly reminded me like the view and audio and smell of the fucking environment we're in is just all superior to what we were seeing on the TV. And I had to remind myself like it looks cool from a distance because the perspective is like we're floating above the fucking stage.
Yeah,
you hear everything clearly, but as soon as you got to piss or run through a whole crowd of people, then it's no longer that fun.
Oh, did you do it? You guys do it like a live stream at the house?
Yeah, it was kind of a ritual the past couple of years because I think Blackpink did last year, if I'm not mistaken, and then she really likes Jennie from Blackpink, so she's like, we have to watch that one, which got me to watch a few other separate performances.
Nice. Was that Lisa girl also performed, right? Or the same girl?
Yeah, she performed as well.
As a different person, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Is she the most popular one? Because is that why they put her on that White Lotus, or are they all kind of like pretty big on their own?
It's a great question. I would say popularity wise, she probably has the edge.
Okay.
But I think Jennie is more likable. She's kind of has more of like a sweet girl aura.
Okay.
But Lisa's definitely the more like charismatic one.
Yeah. She did. She was great on the show. And I saw clips of her performance and it seemed like the people were going crazy. But I mean, dude, even when you and I went in 2019 and saw Blackpink, like people were going crazy back then. And I'm sure they only gotten bigger since. So do they break up or just like taking moments to do their own things and then come back together?
Yeah, they just, I think, took their moment to do their own things. I'm not too sure what triggered it, but it seems like all of them, with the exception of one, are doing exceptionally well. Oh, nice. Especially in America, which is, I was telling my wife, I'm like, this is the first time I feel like I was just in awe seeing an Asian pop star in America. Like that hasn't really happened ever.
In a real way, though, not like in this niche moment, like in a real, real way. Everyone like kind of knows this person. Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, dude, that's a good idea. I never live stream it. I don't know if it's a time difference or time. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna start trying to do that next year. But yeah, I would say I did have FOMO, man, because this one feels like I had this feeling too about Ultra. So for those of you who don't know, Ultra Music Festival happens in Miami every March. I haven't gone, bro, since I was in college. But like when I was in college, bro, it was like those like at the time it wasn't nostalgic, but it was when like house music was having a real moment in the world. It was like the Avicii's. No, honestly, Avicii might have been after. It was like the Swedish House Mafia, Calvin Harris, David Guetta. Like when they were just dropping bangers, bro, and like bangers that the entire world knew about, right? Yeah. So this year it felt like they brought all those guys back, and it felt very nostalgic. So it was like, bro, if there was ever one year to go back to Ultra, this was the year. Yeah. And there was moments in watching Coachella and the highlights on the videos that I felt that way this year. I was like, bro, this T-Pain set looks crazy. This Missy Elliott thing looks insane. The Travis Scott one, bro, I don't know. Like, it looked great on TV or on video, but like my friend was at the performance and like her audio sounded trash. So then I'm like, I go back to like what you and I said about Rolling Loud. I'm like, bro, does he even sound good in person? You know? So, but I don't know, there was like a lot of moments in this one that I was like, I could see myself going to maybe one more. Whereas in the past, I feel like mentally I was like done with it.
Yeah. And we've mentioned this before. One thing I still appreciate is Coachella, even though it's overwhelmed with like influencer culture, I do appreciate that it's like more lighthearted than Rolling Loud. And I definitely think I'll want to make my way over there again. I think for me, the FOMO died down when I saw performances that were disappointing, like Ty Dolla Sign's. Personally, I with all respect, think it was trash. Like,
that's your boy. So if you're saying it, I saw parts of it. Was it a full set by him, or did he jump out on someone else's set?
A full set. So it was like prison themed. He's just like walking around saying like every other fifth word. Can barely hear him. And it felt like he wasn't putting any effort into it. And like, even from home, it was hard to hear or see what was going on. So I'm like, I can imagine what it would have been in person. I probably would have walked away. And then the same with Travis. It looked great on TV, just like the Kendrick Super Bowl performance. Great on TV, but I'm like, I know if I saw this shit in person, all the camera angles and everything wouldn't hit the same. So
it wouldn't hit the same. Yeah, because especially the one for Travis, like that cool like overhead. You truly see the stage. Where like if you're like in the corner because there's just too many people, you're not seeing that in person.
Right. And his music is like mosh music. So all that screaming and jumping around, all you hear is bass and like you see fucking sweat and water and all that other shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the experience.
Yeah. I mean, there was probably one more that I'm not thinking. Oh, I thought the snippets I saw of the Yeet performance. Again, I'm not even a Yeet fan, but if it gave that energy, remember like that clip of Kid Cudi with MGMT where he came out like on acid and was like vibing out with them. Like it gave like because I feel like Coachella, I also appreciate that like, and this is my perspective just going to, again, Rolling Loud, Coachella, and Ultra, like these three massive American like iconic festivals. I think Coachella is just like the best ran festival, bro. Maybe because they just have so much space, right? Like they can do whatever the fuck they want. I would say for you, especially for you and I, but also when I went with my wife in 2022, bro, I never felt overwhelmed, bro. Like if I'm like, hey, I don't want to be near this stage, I can just sit back or I can find a spot to just sit down and feel like I have no one within 5 feet of me to like be on top of me, right? So I think that's what I appreciate about Coachella the most. But even though it's so well organized, I also think there's a level of like unseriousness in those day shows, right? When it gets dark, those are the headliner-ish kind of people, and they know they're going to be recorded. They have to be on point. But bro, there's some fun energy from like 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I think like the Yeats, dude, rest in peace. When we saw but when we saw Virgil, like there's just like a fun energy where people like just talking shit and like having, you know, a good time and not taking it serious. Where again, I don't, it's hard to believe you're doing that at a festival that's like that massive.
Right. No, 100%. And I think that's part of why I like it too, is I felt encouraged to see artists and DJs that I wasn't familiar with. Whereas a festival like Rolling Loud is so name driven and crammed in as well. So you don't even get the artist's full effort.
And you only have like 3 stages.
Right. You only have 3 stages. You got to pick and choose. And like, it's just not, it's like an overwhelming buffet, and all the food kind of sucks.
Yeah. And so you're like, they're very late. And then it's like the leftovers.
Right. Exactly. It's all cold and shit.
Yeah. Cause the Coachella thing, bro, cause you have the Heineken stage. That's like a DJ thing in the back. Like, yo, there's just so many places to see music. And you stumble upon things, bro. Like the song that Gina and I picked for our wedding was an artist that we just stumbled upon, you know?
That one dude, right? Kind of like Russ or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even remember his name, bro. But yeah, exactly. Like that's not happening at other festivals, right? So I definitely love that aspect of it. That being said, though, I think the other headlining, no pun intended, about this festival this year was that 60% of the tickets were bought on some kind of like payment plan system. So like, I'll look up right now what the price was for the average ticket.
Like or some shit.
But what are your thoughts on that in general? Just the idea of like people going into debt. So the typical price was $650. VIP was closer to the average price for VIP was like $1,100.
God damn. I mean, even for us, I think as average American, or we're doing better than the average American, and that's still a steep price to where I'd have to think about it. So
$600 a ticket seems steep, bro. Like I feel like I don't remember like us paying that, and I don't remember paying that with Gina 2 years ago.
No, and well, I paid for I think your friend's ticket who couldn't go, but I think it was close to original, but it was like 200, 250.
200? Yeah.
To me, that's like reasonable for a festival.
Yeah, I think Gina and I were like 400 each. So to have like close to like a $200 inflation in fucking a year and 2 years seems like aggressive, bro. Like,
yeah, but at the same time, yeah, I'm curious what, like, do they just know the demand is so high and it's like win-win? They get paid more and limit the amount of people who can actually attend. Like, I don't know, but
from the consumer's perspective, what are your thoughts on like going into debt though to go see a festival?
I mean, I think that's crazy, but from what I've learned or read was that during trying times, entertainment consumption tends to be the only thing that doesn't change or even increases. So I wonder if it's that paradoxical thing of like, fuck it, the world's coming to an end. Like, I might as well not save and might as well just live my life because who knows what's gonna happen.
And $650 divided by 12 minimum payments of whatever, you know, like you're like, I can do that, you know,
right? Like once these like layaway companies or whatever break it down into like 20 payments of $10, you're just like, oh, that's like going to Starbucks 50 times. So like, what's the big deal?
Honestly, bro, but if you put it that way, what is the big deal, right? Like if you're like, bro, I can cover my bills, like, and I can just make this $20 a month for like the next 6 months, like, or whatever. Like, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that is, because dude, think about COVID, right? Like, you know, alcohol consumption was going up through the roof during that time. People were trying to figure out ways to be entertained. So yeah, dude, it is fucking trying ass times. And especially I feel like, because there's so many young people who go to that festival, like they probably have the bleakest outlook on like the future. Because they're like, bro, like, what is happening? Like, you know, like, by the time we hit 30, like, what the fuck's going to happen to us? You know? Right. So, yeah, for sure. Would you, as of right now, would you vote for yourself to go to at least one more in your lifetime?
Oh, absolutely. I think for why I've been hesitant wasn't necessarily cost. I think just honestly, the lineup seemingly didn't seem intriguing nor that different from most of the years or the year that we went. So I feel like it'd have to be different for me to want to attend. Yeah,
I agree. And I think also, bro, I would say I would definitely go one more time. It'd be intriguing to see if I, go with my kids or go with the wife one more time or just like a group of us, something. But I will say we're going to be older. We will have to make sure that we're so fit, bro, because back pains at that thing is a real thing, bro. Like I understand now when we went that all the parents leaned towards the walls of like the end of the stage because, bro, like standing for like 6 hours, bro. I remember me, and like that was 3 years ago. So at 32, a relatively fit human being, bro, I was dying, my guy. Like I was like, this is not the same back that was doing crazy shit like 10 years ago. So honestly, I feel like for me, it's not even not the price. I feel like it's the fear of like being there for 6 hours a day, standing for 3 days straight.
Yeah. For me, it's that. And then on top of that, I think more so like the logistics, because I feel like we got super lucky with finding
with everything.
Airbnb cheap as fuck, like right next to the bus stop. So the idea of paying 5 times as much to potentially be far away and have to pay, you know, $50 for an Uber to the bus stop or whatever. Like, I think all that shit is something that I just kind of don't want to think about. But
yeah, we're never gonna be people who like tent there, right? Because that shit is disgusting. Dude, we got lucky too. So obviously, you and I got super lucky with that Airbnb because, like, wow. And then Gina and I got lucky because, bro, we booked a hotel at the Westin, but because the name of the Westin wasn't like Indo, whatever, like no one knew, or I guess the majority of people didn't realize it's right next to like to the festival site. So because it had a different city name, they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that.
Oh, is it like Chicago or some shit?
Something like, yeah, just something so like not in line with the other desert names, bro. They had so many rooms available. Heard I got a suite for like a crazy deal. Like, so yeah,
nice.
So that's not gonna happen again though, right? I feel like people catch on to these tricks.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll do one more Brochella out there before it's all said and done. So but yeah, if you guys enjoyed Coachella 2025, leave us a comment, let us know which was your favorite act. Dude, I kind of want to see the Ty Dolla $ign now one if it was that bad. I didn't realize it was that shitty.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to improve, but it didn't.
Because that's your guy, bro. I feel like there's like so many artists who like you like fuck with in a real way. He's like up there.
And the funny thing is, like, he did a bunch of like Vulture songs, and as you know, he's not like super involved in each song, and like he would just like literally let it play,
and it's just
and then just like recite like one of Kanye's words like every 20 seconds and just like literally walk around in his like prisoner outfit, inmate outfit. And I'm like, what are we even doing right now? Like, this shit is not a performance. Just because you dressed up the stage and dressed up yourself doesn't mean you cannot fucking sing.
Yeah, that's when it goes like too unserious. And it's like, because that's the one where like they actually think they're being artistic. And then as a consumer, you're like, bro, what are you doing? You know, like
yeah. And you get to a point where you feel like you've put in so much work musically that the crowd can do all the work. Yeah. Which is kind of insulting.
Which is kind of insulting because also in the grander scheme of things, you're also not that artist.
Right.
Like you're not. Like, yeah, realistically, you're not. Like you're not Jay-Z that just like, hey, Mike, out, you guys sing, and I'll jump in, right? So, I might have to watch it tonight to be honest. But all right, bro. So we have couple other topics. We can do Drake back to back, no pun intended again, but the Luther video dropped last Friday. So Luther, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, I think it's still the #1 song in the country. I feel like it's been #1 for like almost the past like, I don't know, fucking since like December. He dropped it now, shot in black and white for the most part as well, ironically similar to Nokia, but I mean, bro, I love the song. So like similar to my point with Nokia, it's really hard for me to knock a video. It felt a little bit odd that it was like 7 minutes long. But besides that, I mean, dude, I thought it was a cool video. I have more questions about like how come the video came out like so much later than after GNX dropped. But regardless of that, like I enjoyed it, bro. I think there was a story he was trying to tell. Between you and a girl and the different times you're with them in your lifetime, like when maybe you have money and maybe you're just like not as well off, which maybe wasn't too obvious. I thought SZA looked fucking phenomenal. So I don't know if it's the Ozempic or if she's in the gym or whatever, but killing it. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Again, if I like this song, you really have to go out of your way to fuck up a video for me. And I love the song, so it's really hard to critique it. But what were your thoughts on the Luther video?
I'd say very similar to you. Prior to the video, it was definitely one of the songs that was heavy in my rotation. So, I mean, if this thing came out in November, like this album, I mean, it's been quite some time before we got the video.
Right?
I think that's at least for me, it does a disservice when there's that much of a gap and the video kind of follows a somewhat predictable format. I'm not saying it wasn't shot well or like there's anything wrong with the theme. I think it just like once I finished the video, I'm like, that was pretty much what I expected. Kind of just, Kendrick either talking to SZA throughout the video, like as his girl
or a girl,
just an actress.
Yeah.
And shots of SZA looking fine here and there, doing her part. But I don't know.
Apparently, she was like a woman of the night in the video.
Oh,
Like,
for real?
did you get that vibe?
No, but maybe it's because I'm so used to like these girls within hip hop and R&B kind of already dressing that way.
Oh, okay. No,
Like,
because I thought like the idea of like her knocking on the guy's door, looking pretty salacious, and then like him being in the chair, like in the room. I don't know. It just felt like she was like a hired person, and then maybe like that was her own love story. Like,
interesting.
that's how I interpret it.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to go back in and rewatch it to catch some of the more like creative thematic stuff. But yeah, overall, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's hard to not like a video if you love the song, unless the video has absolutely nothing to do with the song. Then in that situation, it might be a throwaway. But I would say similar to Nokia, like appreciate the artistic effort. I think with both videos, however, I didn't feel like this burning desire to be like, let me watch it over and over again.
Yeah, especially I would say more so this one too, because also the song isn't like again, and I say that, and the song is still #1 on the chart. So clearly people are replaying this song, but like I don't know, I feel like Luther isn't as like the song or the video now that you would put on while you're just vibing, smoking hookah, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like that's not the song you're really trying to go to.
Right.
So I was gonna ask
and
you.
then the other.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the other thing. I think now I'm thinking about what I said with Nokia, but for this, the part of the song I appreciate the most is the harmony between Kendrick and SZA. And since most of the shots, or all of them, if I remember correctly, are completely separate, I feel like the harmony's not there then, and that's weird for me because as I listen to that song, the harmony part, I imagine Kendrick and SZA like in unison,
almost like singing to each other.
Yeah, exactly, and that wasn't the case, and obviously that was the artistic direction or choice he made, but I think that's what was off for me now that I think about it.
Yeah, and again, I think because remember they also like broke up the video multiple times, like stop the music. I mean, you know, so I think that, and then there was like a aggressive shift back. Again, I'm sure people will give the video like a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. Like it's a very well shot video, but I get like it's not the same song that we replay on our phones, right? Like the flow isn't the same. But my question for you is going to be like, in what setting do you listen to that song often?
What setting? I mean, I think if I'm just like on the train and like,
okay,
have nothing better to do, really, or in the car even.
Yeah, for me, it's more of in the car. Yeah, I don't think I've been in this. I guess maybe in the backyard, you know, like glass of wine in the hand. But like, yeah, it's not a song that I go to over and over again. But again, clearly people do. Like again, shout out to it's a #1 song in the country for like so many weeks now. Do you think that the song, the video comes out now because the tour is about to kick off soon, or I saw some comments saying that it's because people think he's about to drop another album, and this is like a teaser to that?
No, I think what you first said, the former, with the tour coming out, I think it's just like a visual reminder, like, hey, GNX is still like a poppin' thing you should listen to and check out. And I think it's a smart decision. But I think for people who, like you and I, who are already fans of it, have already decided if we want to do the tour or not, I think it doesn't have much of an impact. At least for me, it doesn't make me any more or less excited for the tour.
When is your tickets again?
May 29th.
Oh, so soon. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and that's in San Fran, or is it in San Jose?
San Fran.
Nice. Oh. Nice. Very cool. That's gonna be good. I'm excited for a recap of that. But final score, 1 to 10. What are you gonna give the video?
Give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it an 8.5. Yeah. Again, I just like it's a great song. There was artistic. It felt artistic. I don't think there was any artistic leaps taken.
Yeah.
To like blow me away that I'm like, bro, play that shit again. You know?
I think that's where I got confused because like I didn't obviously listen to every review that was posted on YouTube or article written, but it seems like the reaction is something mind-blowingly
deeper.
New. Yeah, deeper was like a creative approach was taken, when to me it was just beautifully shot. And
yeah, it felt like any like well done rom-com black and white. Like I was just like, I've seen this movie before kind of thing. right? It's just like, it's cool that you're a rapper and a great R&B singer doing it, but like, it's not that groundbreaking, but clearly it's not below average. So
yeah, exactly.
Shout out to him, shout out to SZA, and definitely excited for the that tour to kick off very, very soon. All right, man, let's get to, we'll start with the music before we get into like the fuckery. The Drake leaks. I think one song was Cheerio, the other one was Waiting to Exhale, I think, Waiting to Exhale, with 21 Savage. Did you get a chance to hear the leaks? Any thoughts?
I did hear a leak. I
think Cheerio was the one that probably was the most popular.
Okay, so I'm listening to it as we speak. I definitely hadn't heard it. Giving you a live reaction. The beat is amazing. Sounds like he's on his like back on his like pseudo nobody can fuck with me mobster type shit. I like that Drake for musical purposes when it comes to the gym and just being hyped up. So I'm not mad at it. I think it, from what I heard, it sounds dope. I think the believability aspect of it is gonna be tough for some people, but at the same time, as long as he's not talking about catching bodies or making fun of people for going to the cops or suing or some shit, I think he'll be fine. I actually, from what I heard, really like that one so far.
Yeah, so I would say Cheerios was my favorite one of the two. So I would definitely recommend listening to both after this or whenever you have time. I would just say it felt very much like Her Loss Drake, like in that pocket of like that Her Loss and maybe your favorite aspects of For All the Dogs. I would just say, listen, I think he's building up for an album to drop at some point this year. Another one, which is crazy, right? Considering, you know, all the advice we've given him and other people were saying like, bro, just fall back. It's not worth it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, bro, I think there was even some reaction on the Buttons podcast where they were like going crazy over it. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just like, it seems very much like he realized that people are still fucking with him in a real way after Some Sexy Songs for You. And like, he was been able to take like a deep sigh of like, okay, let's get back to work, you know? Because I do think there was, I mean, again, if he wasn't, he wouldn't be human if he didn't feel these things. But there had to be nerves thinking like, bro, I'm gonna put this album out with Party. What if they don't fuck with Party? What if they don't really fuck with me anymore? Maybe, you know, what if all this was true over the last like 7 months and like my shit's about to fucking go like beat out of here, you know? So I think he realized that he's in good company for a little bit longer, hoping for a lot longer. And I think these songs and these leaks are giving that hint of like, bro, I feel very confident right now. Which again, I think is only exciting if you're a Drake fan, but also if you're just a fan of good music, right? Which we've been like the least amount of good music we've had in a very long time, and maybe we say that every fucking year. But again, like if we're constantly talking about Drake and Kendrick every year, bro, like I think we're gonna be in a really bad spot.
Yeah, no, we'd have to just quit the pod immediately because like it seems like this is a common thing across every media outlet, regardless of old or new. Just the conversation around Drake and Kendrick. Thinking about this leak and his approach last year, I'm beginning to wonder if he sabotaged himself and set the bar lower for himself on purpose with like, Hey There Delilah and all these other random ass snippets, because none of those hit. And I feel like Drake fans were trying to convince themselves that some of the songs were good, better than they actually were. But like this sounds a whole lot more promising, or maybe it is what you alluded to, is the confidence and energy and inspiration is finally hit now that like the worst of the storm has passed. So,
or so we think.
Or so we think. Yeah, who knows? I mean, every year's unpredictable within the genre, but I like what I hear so far. I just hope that he doesn't continue this trend of trying to lean into like whoever's popular at the moment to like push the narrative that he's still the shit. And that's why I love the Kendrick bar of like Yachty can't give you swag, blah blah blah, because it's true. Like he has a tendency to do that shit, and I'm like, you don't need to. You're not an up and coming rapper anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I like especially with some songs for you and the snippets or the leaks. Sorry, that it's really just him, right? Like the biggest song on that entire album, even though it's a joint album, is his own song, right? With no features, right? Just a reminder of like what he's capable of. So I guess on a second topic of this, because again, the Aiden Ross thing. I mean, do you have any comments on that, real quick? The stream.
Yeah, just briefly. I'm not. I think it kind of ties into what I just said, but I'm not too much of a fan of it because I just have absolutely no interest in it. It feels kind of like selling out, especially because it's gambling and it's you might as well sell fucking cigarettes. Like it doesn't seem like there's in alignment with the brand. I mean, get your bag. Apparently, he's getting like $100 million or plus to do this.
I think it's way more than that. But yeah, I think the bag
like
is
180 or something.
Something stupid. Yeah.
So yeah, who am I to say like $250 million is turned down? But at the same time, you have to understand like you can't have it all. And if you want to chase this, that's going to give you money, you might lose respect or tarnish your brand in this area. So like that's only something he can decide on.
Yeah, so I would say there was like a level of, again, this is maybe like the buzzword that we've been using, or I've been using more than normal, but like the like unseriousness to it, right? Like again, they had like the emo midgets. It felt like, dude, it reminded me of like those old like videos of back in the day where like Snoop would have like the whores that he would pimp, like it's just around, because there was like a moment that he had like two women like come and serve them drinks, and then he had the weird band and like they were cracking jokes. But again, it was odd, and I feel like when you say brand, it doesn't align with like the idea of like these don't look like GOAT activities, right? Like my GOAT shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see that for sure, but I think it helps the brand. I mean, the brand is being Drake now. Remove like best ever hip hop king, whatever. I think it just helps to see for the world to see him unbothered.
Right.
I think that is what probably was the win here for him, is that like it's 2 hours of him just like, bro, let's get drunk, let's gamble money away. Yo, weird looking woman, come over here, tell me how much you flex, work out. Like, so again, there was moments of like, yo, what are we doing here? But then if it's just an hour and a half of him just goofing around, being funny and like giving little inside jokes here and there, like I'm also for that. If like it's another proof that he feels like he can finally be himself again.
Right. And I would agree with that. That seems to be one of the advantages of doing something like this, is just goofing around, being happy. I think it's a little unsettling, not to make it a race thing, but it's like him aligning with these white streamers who kind of don't seemingly give a fuck about the culture, yet that's what Drake is striving to win, or at least like win the hearts of the people of the culture. So it's odd to be playing two different games at once. Like, let me chase the bag and have fun with people outside of the culture, but then like try desperately to be the king of the culture. And I feel like you kind of have to pick one, and that's why I respect artists who don't want that title, and they're just like, I'm cool being at this tier and being the best at here. But I don't know, I wish she would leave it to the art more. But I guess when you have a song calling you a predator, like maybe the strategy has to shift and you have to do shit like this in this era
just
where content and perception is everything.
Yeah. But do you think you consider Aiden like outside the culture?
I would say outside in the sense of
he's an outsider who's been accepted, but like people feel like he's an outsider.
Yeah, I feel like an outsider who's been accepted. I obviously think he's a fan of hip hop and everything, but I feel like his track record doesn't prove he's contributed anything besides have this weird symbiotic relationship where I don't know. I get the sense that it's the reason why stuff like this gets so much traction is like, let me get the suburban Jewish white kid to hang out with these thugs, and these two weird worlds collide, and now there's a bunch of money flowing, and that's kind of like all I see it as. So when I see someone like a Drake aligning with him, all I see is bag chasing. And I think that's understandable. But at the same time, when you already have such a massive fucking bag, you begin to ask yourself, like, how much does the art matter then? Because Kendrick would never do something like this. But also Kendrick's fighting a whole different fight and mission. So I don't know. I feel like he's just fighting too many battles at once. Like, I don't really know what his motive is. And it seems like it's
I would say I feel like the motive after it was, I think, what's an easy way to make a few $100 million, right? Like, let me hop on a fucking stream for 2 hours. And then I think the other one, and I only feel because of like how I felt at the end of watching it, was that like that was like an hour and a half of this guy just being like normal-ish, right? And even if normal is like awkward and goofy at times or whatever, but it felt like, all right, cool, bro. At least we're not getting like this like weird, like nothing phases me, I'm fine. And it's like, no, bro. Like, again, if nothing phased you, that'd be fucking insane, bro. Like, that's a human emotion, which again, I'm sure we're gonna hear in his music. But yeah, like, it just, I think that helped his overall Drake brand. Like, hey, dude, just be normal for 2 hours, bro. That people would remind us that you're not some weird predator-like person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely value in that.
Yeah. And then quick little side note, Diddy. I think Diddy might get out, bro. And I made a prediction at the end of last year that Diddy is gonna get out this year, bro. So he just got Young Thug's lawyer to be one of the lead people in his case. And then this wasn't reported, but allegedly last week, one of the bigger RICO charges against him was also dropped. So I'm not saying he deserves to get out. I'm just letting you that my prediction, I think it's gonna come good. I think he's gonna get out this year, bro.
That'll be wild if it happens, but yeah, I don't even know what to think. Like, at this point in time, I don't know what's
anything
could
happen.
What's gonna happen? What won't? I think what's tough with him is, again, the visual of him and Cassie obviously makes everything else automatically seem true. Like, it could be the most
100%.
outlandish claim, and everyone could come out and have their stories and feel comfortable saying something without looking crazy. So yeah, I just hope the truth comes out.
Yeah, if he's a scumbag, he should deserve to get scumbag repercussions. So
right.
Yeah.
And if he didn't do any of the RICO shit, then he shouldn't be in jail. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Like, if there's a different jail for people who beat their wives, right? Like, there's a different repercussion for that. So
well, again, and also she got paid for that, right? So not to make it right, but she got her.
Oh, but as in like that, it should be settled already, right? Like that was
yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you guys posted. All right, my dude, episode 208 about to wrap up. Heat of the week before we get out of here, just in time. What is your heat of the week for the week, my guy?
My heat of the week. Let me pull it up. It was definitely one song that I had been listening to over and over. If it ever fucking loads. Oh yeah, I told you about it. It was Drake. Must Be the Money, or sorry, Must Hate Money.
Oh yeah. So you'll be able to add it to the Spotify playlist or no?
No, unfortunately not.
Damn, y'all gonna have to YouTube that one, people, because I can't add it to the Apple Music playlist. But like, this is like what is that his playlist right before So Far Gone?
Yeah, I believe it was the one right before that. And he has like a trench pea coat on, and like there's orange leaves behind him and shit.
Yeah, but that was a fire, bro. I remember that. That's like that. And honestly, I probably looked the most like Drake back in the day at that point as well. But bro, I was like, bro, I need that jacket like right now.
Should be your next Halloween costume.
100%, bro.
But yeah, I love that song, and I think even back then when I first heard it, I don't know. There's just something about like you could hear the hunger and authenticity in his voice. Like, he was just a hungry dude, and in such a clever way was basically saying, if you don't like me, then you don't like money. Like, you're just a hater. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a just dope, relatable thing to want to say to somebody if they were hating on you. So, and the beat is amazing. Rich Boy killed his verse. The sample is fire. Like, there's just nothing to not like about that song.
Agreed. It's funny because you mentioned Rich Boy, because he talks about on the stream with Aiden that he has like a funny story of going to like Polo the Don's like birthday party like years ago or something. But I know Rich Boy has allegiances to him, so that's cool. I will again. I recommend everyone go check that out on YouTube if you haven't heard it yet. What's the full name of the song again?
Must Hate Money.
Must Hate Money. Bro, I don't know if it's because it's rooftop season. Weather's getting nice. I feel like the energy's getting nicer, even though these allergies are so fucking killing me, bro. I don't know about you, but I'm getting my ass kicked, dog. Like bad. Like
my allergies.
Yeah, bro. Like, I got back from Dallas. Like, you would have thought I had like the worst case of pink eye, bro. It was just like I was like, bro, what is happening? But besides that, when I take my Claritin D, bro, this song is 3 years old and it's only a 3-minute long song, but it's a house song. It's Relax My Eyes. Dude, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the artist is ANOTR and Abel Balder. Have you ever heard of them before?
No.
Okay, I don't want to play and they fucking completely cancel our entire like hour-long episode, so I'll send it to you. But yeah, Relax My Eyes, bro. It's everything you would want on a rooftop in New York City. Weather is nice, you're not sweating, but you have like an Aperol spritz, fun drink in your hand, good vibes. Like the night's about to take off, but we're not there yet. I think these are the songs that you're like, you know what? One more drink. Let's just stay a little bit longer. So like that's like, I feel like as the people are going, like, especially, dude, I've been going out way more than I have been like all year. So completely fucking up my sleep, by the way, but it's fine. It's worth it. But yeah, so I would say Relax My Eyes is my heat of the week because I feel like that's a fun energy to be in, bro, especially this time of the year when like, you know, it's, again, rich people problems, but like, you know, you're hoping to be on a rooftop, boat season, all these things, you know, to take advantage of living in, you know, California and New York and Miami. So yeah, I would say I'm very excited for this time of the year. And this song is a great epitome of that.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely need more of that, especially with everything going on. It's nice to have more, I don't know, fun energy.
Fun music. Energy. Yeah. And then real quick, because I know we have, like, you said you got to be out like in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not super rigid, but yeah.
No. So I would say just 2 minutes. And I think, so those are 2 heat of the weeks. One of them added to the playlist. Other one go find on YouTube. And I think, bro, side note, I think we're gonna start feeling the residual more of this whole Drake Kendrick thing. I think we're gonna unfortunately keep talking about those two entities on their own. But bro, as I don't think our excitement about the Travises in the future, I think that stuff is gonna start like falling a little bit, bro. Because I think we're so used to those guys having at least that 1 or 2 banger every year or every other year, you know, and that feature and that Young Thug Drake feature, like, I don't know, bro. I just feel like him being removed from that and doing his own thing and clearly doing it well, quote unquote, like charting, I think it probably put something in his own head where he's like, you know what? Cool, I'll do this by myself. Or I'll put one of my guys on from OVO and we'll just still put out bangers. Because, like, yeah, it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like that gap is also, we're just so used to having those 3 or 4 or 5 songs a year of all those guys together.
Yeah. And then we also like learn and realize how much the success of those guys is not even just contingent upon Drake, but even like Kanye's input, and he's in his whole own world right now. And like, just all the writers behind the scenes and this producer not fucking with that person. Like, I feel like there's so much amongst the relationships that crumbled that they're not gonna be performing nearly as well as they had before unless they step up their game, and which would be a great opportunity for a new artist. But
that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm hoping, because I don't think these guys who are already so rich want to try harder. Right? Like, I think they already go, we peaked, we're fine, whatever. Like, to your point earlier, hey, I'm already here, and I'm fucking rich, do I really want to try harder to push another like genre of music, another sound, right? You know, like maybe The Weeknd, but I don't know, bro. I just feel like them collectively, like that group that kind of turned on Drake, right? Like I think that gap that we're feeling in music is just like them, right? Like they're dropping music and everyone's just like, whatever, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But the gap is being felt, bro. Like again, dude, I feel like if it's not a Kendrick Drake thing, like I feel like, yeah, like what are we talking about? You know?
Yeah. No, it's insane, and we've talked about it for so long, and we're not alone in talking about it. But it seems like it's becoming more and more apparent to the point where you're literally like, now I have to go out and find music. Before it was like, you know, if I have some free time, but it feels like in a year or two, we might quite literally might have to like actively be on SoundCloud fucking searching for shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's the other part of it where because the barriers to entry is so low, there's so many people listening to, but like, then you're like, is this even good? Or am I just so underwhelmed by everything else that I like this now, right? There's just like so many. Again, it's just a different world right now, which is, again, it's fine. But again, I think there used to be a level of excitement for like hip hop drops on Fridays that is just like, bro, whatever. Like, bro, like we didn't even talk about the Sheck West Travis Scott song. We didn't talk about.
I actually did like that one.
I like the video too, that song, but we didn't talk about it though, right? And we didn't talk about the Quavo and Lil Baby joint album, right? Like,
oh, they have a joint album? I thought it was just a song.
Was it just a song? I mean, you might be right.
Well, I mean, you might be right too, because I mean, I wasn't gonna check it out.
My bad. It was just a song. Correct. Just a song. I thought they were teasing for an album though. That could be my bad.
I was about to say, if it was an album, like the genre is really in trouble. Because
no, yeah, Legends. It's just a song. Just a song. But again, even that we didn't talk about, right? So I don't know. It's just news. like there's no news. Like whatever you drop, who cares, right? Whereas I feel like if that happened in 2018, that's a fucking monumental moment that we're like, yo, did you fucking understand like what's happening right now? Like, what does this mean? Is the Migos becoming blah blah blah? Like, so yeah. And I pray that we get more things that are inspiring for them and for us. But all good though. I'm G. Great episode as always. Have a great night. Episode 208 in the books. Let them know where they can find us, hear us. Let's get out of here.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. We also have the Heat of the Week Spotify and Apple Music playlists on there, so peep that. If you're on YouTube, check down below. We got merch. And if you're on the website, you can buy some merch through that channel as well. But if not, please like, subscribe, comment, do what you can to support the channel.
Do what you can. Love you, my dude.
Love you too.
Peace.